describe a historical period. It's always eager to me to talk about Vietnam War, which happened in the past and during the World War II and end in the 1975. This one is one of the most significant and historical highlights in our country. Vietnam, as you know, underwent 1,000 years under the colonization of foreign country. So it's, this was is opened for the era of peace and independence. Why this very important uh, event in my country? Because at this time, people, I mean, country was divided. Like what? Divided into two parts, which is a northern part and the southern part. So the communication between two parts is impossible, and people across the country were living with the de- destitute and uh, poor condition. However, the soldier still fought bravely with the support and help of ordinary people. Besides the remarkable events, this is the remarkable events because at that time, hardly anyone can believe win, we could win the war because compared to the well armed country like America. However, however, because the determination, we can get our peace again. Every year, we held the annual Independence Day to celebrate and to put tribute to people who sacrificed for our country. And this is the milestone important for every citizens in my country. Um, Historical was taught in my country in the passive learning, which is the pattern in my school years. Teacher stood in front of the class and um, gave a direct information and instruction to us, and we jot down everything she said, monotonous and exhausting way. There's some difference between learning history from books and the movies. For a beginner, watching some videos that may help them to be inspired to get to know more about history. But however, these movies easily is mixed between the fantasy and the fact, so it becomes less trustworthy source of information. When the one wishes to have the deeper insight, reading a book may be a better decision option. But as I did mention before, study through book may be bored. I mean boring and not inspirational. Why are there many children do not like to know history? There's some reasons why children are not into learning these subjects, um, because they are not mature enough to get to know about the history which happened in the past. At that age, what of interest to them is animated videos and video games. Or they are not conscious. They are not conscious of the significance of history. So parents will be the person who have to raise their awareness of this subject. Do young people like historical stories in your country? Mm, Not much. A few people in my country um, are into this subject, even despite of the fact that the Ministry of Education attracts the great impor- no sorry, importance to this subject, attract them. Make an effort to make it an important subject in the national curriculum. But just a few students consider it. Many students in Vietnam consider it as the minor subject because not so many university or college using using this subject in their entry standards. Which historical period do you think? Mm, I think on the historical features, periods, and events are as significant as each other because they all contribute to their country to be what it like today. But if I have to pick one out of them, it must be the Nguyen dynasty, because it was the last imperial, imperial family of Vietnam, and it witnessed our country's transition from the feudal age to the early modern era. Do you think history future? Yes, I think so. Have a look to the past to wonder why the country is um, is this way today. History gives us the reflection of ourselves in former days, and we reflect on our mistakes in the past to avoid them in the present and future. Everything include the country um, can be able to get better version to get to become a better version. Thank you, history. Do you think history will still be the school subject in future? This I think so. It is remaining and will remaining the part and parcel of curriculum in my country. History is constantly generated as time goes by, and it never really run out of things to thought to think. Mm, the past is a part of our lives, and we cannot build a great future without understanding how the past shaped the present. So yes, finally I think conclusion. Um, this subject still remains the central subject at school.